I knew this stuff would come in handy for something.
Did you used to draw the guidelines when you first started?
No, yeah.
Charcoal? Chalk?
Yeah. I used
hard to get off, I know, right?
Yeah, that's the part that always got me. It's so dang hard to. I use a, Stabilo pencil now.
Yeah.
Because after it's dry, you spit on it. And, it takes Stabilo right off.
Mm-hmm.
It's a natural solvent for it. Just like bugs on your windshield. Best thing to take bugs off your windshield, spit on it, take it right off. Yeah. It's his name
What kind of spit you guys?
Huh?
What kind of spit you got?
Well, it comes from an animal, right? Them are dead bugs, right? We're creatures.
That's true.
So it's a solvent. Best thing in the world for taking off bugs. Squirrel, isn't that some sort of a science fiction monster? The squirrel, that was one of them things that came out of science fiction or something. The squirrels are after us. There they are. Yeah, I like to get in it once in a while early on and just try to bust into doing this on the S's. Even though it's out of a different form and everything. The sign shop that my dad and me worked at for a long time, we used to do a lot of this Hebrew lettering for delicatessens and stuff like that. We never knew what it said, but we used to, copy it off of a thing, and that's neat stuff. You can really whip that out in a hurry. In fact, I think this type of thing might be derived from.
Yeah.
It's all strokes like that. The whole thing, the whole alphabet, is all made out of, in that Hebrew, is all made out of these single strokes like that. The whole thing's made out of it. I think it's a beautiful form. I wish I could read it. I have no idea what it says. I understand, so it also reads the other direction.
I think it reads backwards, yeah.
Yeah, but I wouldn't know. But we used to just copy it. And, we got to where we could really whip it out. I think this is kind of what that's from.
Talk about layout for a minute. If you get a guy that wants steak and eggs, $1.99, do you just whip it out and you just lay it on there with some kind of pencil or anything? What do you do? How do you
Hardly ever.
You just think it out first.
I just look at it and that's where it's going to go and do it. And if it don't work out, I use a little fakery to get around that.
Well, let's say you had a guy come in and want steak and eggs, $1.99.
Yeah.
How would you go about doing it? How would you pick the style of letter for the steak and the eggs? Is it the experience that tells you the style?
Well, certain forms, certain letter forms have emphasis for certain things. So that was only like a steak and eggs. Well, see, that's that R again right there.
Uh-huh. That's the hardest word too, double G.
Now, we want this particular type S to live in here, I think. Also, we can use this little trick over here to balance things up with it, if that's, becoming critical. Now, what are we going to charge the guy for the steak and eggs?
$1.99.
$1.99. Like a little curve right in there.
Yeah.
Oh, there's somebody for me here. Or he wouldn't be blowing the horn so constantly. So I tell everybody that's a quick way to get rid of that stuff.
Wheels now featuring the holiday line and textured knit sportswear by Beretta California. Colors are poppy, winter, white, and blue. Coordinate your outfit with Beretta California. The perfect sportswear for travel or just relaxing at home.
this, you know.
Yeah,
You know, this is basically out of mine.
You think so?
Oh yeah, that influenced me more than anyway. That guy just blew me away. The main layout, the weight of everything. Because you do have to think about the weight of letters.
What if a guy's starting out? How's he going to come up with that kind of balance? Is he going to sketch it on there with a pencil, or is he going to...
That's the way you can do. My dad was being a layout. Yeah.
Why don't you step up there now?
That steak and eggs for $1.99 with runs in it. So you get for going so fast. And you do it, you get the runs in like that.
Don't worry, the eggs are running.
That's why a lot of letters end up with shadows and things on them.
Kind of the run?
Well, yeah, you come over, oh, got some runs, we'll put a shadow on it, take care of that. There's always a way of faking it. Always a way of faking it. You know what I find that works real good though actually with it? You throw them all in a blender. Throw the whole thing in a blender.
What?
The eggs and the steaks and the whole thing. Put the whole thing in a blender and grind it all up, right? Then fry it.
Right?
Yeah, it's great.
In a flour tortilla.
It's super. Yeah. Ends up that way anyway. Brown? All ends up brown. Right? You take every color of paint in this building and pour it all into one can and stir it up and you will get brown. That's what you get. That explains a lot of things.
What about these guys who are out in the toolies that can't get all these fancy thinners? What do they use in an emergency?
You can get by with gasoline, especially this unleaded gas ain't bad. It's not too shabby.
No?
You can get by with it, any of your synthetic paints, you know, that are made up from petroleum paint, or even your natural stuff, like One Shot's a natural paint. It's made out of tree sap. It's the genuine article. Where all your synthetic paints are made of petroleum derivatives, you can get by with the white gas if you have to. And in fact, we used to use at the sign shop, there was a time when gasoline was cheaper than thinner.
Yeah, right.
And we used to use gas. But we couldn't use the gas with a red dye in it in white, see, it didn't work, you ended up with pink. Now they don't have the red dye in the gasoline anymore. So you can get by with it.
Tetraethylene they put in.
Yeah, well no, it's a red dye, and the reason they put the dye in it is so that they can identify it in the refinery. That's the only reason it's there. They know which is coming through which pipe because of which color it is. That's why the dye is in the gasoline. Normally it's colorless.
We use unleaded gasoline and acrylic enamel, works great.
Yeah, sure.
It was by accident, but it worked. Huh? Yeah.
Lacquer, of course, is another story altogether. And lacquer is lacquer. It's a different material.
Where does the banana oil come from in case a guy wants to retard some lacquer?
Drugstore.
Drugstores have it?
Yeah, pharmacies usually have it. They use it in some